So me being the white trash male that I am, I decided to make this video. Transgender is a thing. Been around for quite a while. But there seems to still be some things in society that we had issues with. So I'm going to start off with this. So let's say a male suddenly identifies as a woman and goes into the women's bathroom. Those women might feel just a tad bit uncomfortable. Like, yes, you might identify as a woman, but if you still have the body parts of a male, that's a little kind of an issue. Like, there were stories about a guy who identified as a woman but still had his man parts. Went into these bathrooms and he did things to these girls. But we're supposed to feel, we're supposed to simply open ourselves up and be like, yeah, no, come on in, come on in. Yeah, you don't got what I got between the legs, but yeah, come on in. Yeah, sit down right there. That's all right. I'm sorry, but no. There is a thing we can feel. We can feel uncomfortable. We can also feel upset. We can feel accepting. We can feel confident. We can feel this. We can feel that. But it doesn't mean we automatically have to accept something as is. You can't just, even if you say something, that doesn't mean I have to accept it as is. Me and myself, I don't like going into public bathrooms. I hate it. I don't like standing there. I feel weird. I don't like doing it. I don't like public bathrooms. Maybe if you're a woman, you might not like them either. Who knows? But if I was to have somebody else come in, actually, I have a story like this. I was in the bathroom at work one day, and for whatever reason, nobody asked me if I was in there. The women's bathroom was closed down for cleaning, but nobody asked if anybody was in there. So I had 4 to 5 different girls come to the bathroom while I was in there, and it was very uncomfortable for me because I didn't know how to act. I could say something, I could do this, whatnot, but I was also kind of afraid of like, oh, well, what if I say something? They might think I'm trying to be in here creeping on them. No, thank you. The issue with a lot of these transgender things is that people are immediately expecting you to conform to their ideas. They identify as this, you must accept that, no matter what. Does not matter what I think. Doesn't matter as what I think. Me being a free-minded individual. I have to immediately conform to the idea of somebody else being something that they're not, or something that they're not quite yet. Now, there are many people who haven't gotten the surgery yet. That's fine, but you can't expect a woman in a woman's bathroom to feel completely comfortable with somebody who still has the parts of a male. To come in there and do their business. I mean, it is what it is. People still have the right to feel uncomfortable. You can go ahead and say that, no, you can't, but we can. We as humans, we as free citizens have that ability to. So until they start raining bombs down from the sky or having people come over and be like, listen here, Sonny Jim, anything I say, you have to accept no matter what. Look at me, look at me. I am your master now. That ain't happening. No, thank you. Because as the transgender thing is, many people don't have a problem with it. Just because you're transgender doesn't mean you're an abomination or anything like that. It doesn't mean you're hated. It doesn't mean you're being discriminated against. Granted, that stuff still does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. But I'm saying if somebody is like I've seen a thing where somebody was like, if you don't want to date a transgender person, you're transphobic. How? How is that a thing? If I don't like guys, there is a preference. There is a thing of preference. They go on to say, like, how can you identify who is a transgender, who's not? I'm like, well, sometimes it's very easy to see. Because A lot of y'all still keep your masculine facial features or your feminine ones, either way. But everybody always keeps coming to this thing of like, you need to accept this, you need to understand this, you need to conform to this sort of idea. And then, no, that's not going to happen. You know, when it came to that transgender girl who went into swimming and immediately destroyed the competition, I'm like, yeah, that's going to happen. When you have many years worth of testosterone that helps build muscle, that helps build cardio and do all this stuff. You know, it's like you got people who say who they identify as demons or as an animal that they are obviously not, but for whatever reason, science goes out the window. Like, first of all, brother, I don't see your horns, I don't see your tail, I don't see your pig snout, I don't see your kitty ears, I don't see whatever. But you want me to accept that you identify as a demon, but you can't accept the fact that some people just might not be ready to accept something else. Or that you can't even accept basic science. Like, more and more stuff keeps coming out, but the thing is, man, is like, when you have that many years of testosterone, it helps. It is scientific, unfortunately, that men tend to be, on average, stronger than women. It really depends on the individual. You got some big girls that can outmuscle anybody. You got some guys who are very small, very delicate, what have you. But unfortunately, it's a thing of that it is scientific, or science, or whatever you want to say, that men tend to be, on average, stronger than women. It's not a bad thing. Doesn't mean women are utterly weak and defenseless, but it's science. But so many people just don't want to listen to that. I'm like, I am a demon. My name is... and you will accept me for who I am. But fuck your science. I give up on that. It's a thing, it was like, if you can have a transgender bathroom, I would say have a transgender bathroom. That way they can feel comfortable with it, and the man or the woman in the other bathrooms can feel comfortable. You know, because it makes it simpler that way. For whatever reason, people just want you to accept the transgender person for what they might not be. You could be transgender, but unfortunately, in the way I was growing up, if you got something dangling between your legs, you're a male. If you don't, you're a female. And you might identify as something else, you might feel like you're something else, but I don't think I would be entirely too happy if I was a female and me, sitting on the toilet and having some person come straight over, slam their trunks down, and just start letting it all hang out. There has been stories about people identifying as something else to abuse a gender. Well, there was that little guy in schools that was saying he identified as a female, walked around in a skirt, but then raped several girls in bathrooms. On one hand, transgenders people should be able to feel accepted into society. But on the other hand, it's also a thing where many people have been using that. I would say that if you are changing your body and immediately going into another sport and immediately destroying everybody, that's not fair. I'm close to 200 pounds. I'm 6'2", 2.5, whatever. And if I go into a freaking women's basketball game or a wrestling match, there's a good chance I will probably dominate. Because not only have I had years of testosterone, I'm also a pretty decent sized guy, I guess. I guess it depends on who I'm standing next to. But it's a thing of it's not a real fair advantage. My best description. So when I was a kid, we used to play cops and robbers on bikes. I had a bike. My brother had a motorcycle. So here I am, pedaling away, trying to escape, and he comes just gently, just kind of rolling up on his Harley, taps me, and away. That's not fair. It obviously wasn't fair. But anytime we played, that's what would happen. You can accept people for being who they are. That's not really that big of an issue. It's just when when people have a different opinion on the matter, that's immediately a thing. You know, like, you can't accept this. You are a bigot. You're a racist, homophobic son of a bitch. And I hate you. Like, my favorite band is Five Finger Death Punch. A lot of people don't like that band. A lot of people say that if you listen to that band, you're chugging a monster and your giant ass Hummer, punching your woman in the face and kicking babies across a football field. And while they are right, 100% correct, that does not mean that I'm not willing to at least, accept that. If you not like what I like, that's not a problem. You can disagree with me on an opinion. That's fine. That's okay. I accept it. But it's when you are immediately wanting everybody else to demand to accept you and all your opinions and who you are and what you're for. That's not exactly all that fair, is it now? That's just taking. That's all you're doing is taking. You're not doing a give and take. You're just taking. You're expecting people to do what you want to do and believe what you believe and accept what you accept, but you're not willing to do the same for them. You're not even willing to have a decent adult discussion with them to figure all that out. That's not fair. Everybody should be able to feel accepted. But when you are immediately trying to get everybody to conform to your ideas and calling them all these kinds of things, if they disagree or just have a slightly different opinion than you are the problem. You are the bad person. You are the bigot. Just because of my skin color, or just because of my sexuality, or just because of what the hell ever, if I disagree that somebody who is obviously has a physical advantage and not due to them maybe training more or doing whatever more than their competitors, but due to it being a basic biological advantage, that's not fair. It's not going to be fair if I go into, a tennis match or a baseball game, and instead of having an arm to throw, I just have a cannon to shoot the baseball out. That's not going to be that fair. That's not fair. Nobody's born with a cannon for an arm. It's not fair at all. Learn to accept what you can't accept. Learn to not accept what you can't accept. That doesn't make any sense. Basically, what I'm saying is, try to stop fighting everybody when they just disagree with one tiny little detail. Don't immediately begin to believe that everything that they are is bad because they just don't agree with you on something. I got a few family members I don't fully agree with. I think some things they say are kind of bad. That doesn't mean I'm just going to stand there and call them all kinds of bad names. We're grown-ups. Let's act like it. Adios.